Welcome back. President Cyril Ramaphosa will deliver his 8th State of the Nation address on Thursday. South Africans hope to hear how far the country has progressed and what the current challenges are. Among issues plaguing South Africa are the ongoing rolling blackouts, unemployment, crime, water supply, and other challenges. Now, one of the issues that remains thorny also in the country is, of course, the issue of land. And to help us understand what South Africans should and can expect from the president's address, we welcome political analyst Mr. Sandile Swana, who joins us live via Zoom. Sandile, thank you so much for your time, as always. With the above-mentioned challenges that are currently plaguing in the country, what do you and, well, I suppose the rest of us as a country should expect the president to address in his SONA? And do you think it will be different from the previous ones?
Thank you. Yes, I think, Alicia, and your viewers, the coming SONA will be different, and I think it should be different. One of the critical differences is that on paper, the elections are in May 2024. So the fellows who are running the government for now have got at the most 5 months to do something. So when you look at his closing remarks at the conference that they had, the Lekgotla they had, he said all of the deployees and what have you know that they have a list of things that must be achieved within a few months. And one of the differences is that they are no longer sure that they will be there to say what they have not completed in this 5-year term, or that they don't complete in the next 5 months, will still be available to them to complete after the elections, because these elections are very different from any other. So some of the things that to save face in some way that he would have been on those short lists that when it was not completely disclosed is the issue of what they can do in 5 months with load shedding. Load shedding is a big issue. The other one that there's been a lot of talk about infrastructure, but I think one of the things that showed us that something needs to be done about infrastructure is that with available technologies today, no part of South Africa should be experiencing any type of cholera. So the mismanagement of waste material, the mismanagement of sewage works, where even the properly qualified senior technicians and engineers are not in position. The civil infrastructure as a whole, because there's this word infrastructure just gets thrown there, but civil infrastructure specifically protects lives. It protects the health of the people. And that infrastructure is in tatters. Whether they can at least deal with the water purification plants and the sewage plants, and so on and so forth. So those are some of the things. And then he's going to try and paint a rosy picture around education. And I'm sure people have already started to read Professor Jansen's comments on the issue of where we are truly with education. So the results that have come out do not reflect the true picture of where, especially the Black communities, where the Black community is relative to education. There's been a lot of regression and a lot of lack of progress.
So quite a stark contrast between the promises versus what the current reality is, Sandile. So what would you then outline as some of those so-called progressions that the president can speak of, if any?
Look, he has made claims. One of those claims is that, for instance, he's made a lot of progress in recapturing from the state capture crew things like SARS. He claims that they've recaptured things like Transnet, even ESCOM. So people know on their hand. I will not comment on whether those claims are valid or not valid. People know from their day-to-day lives what is happening about that. So there will be a big claim around the progress that he has made in education, in fighting corruption. And as you see Bekele going up and down, trying to be visible, I would expect that there will be a claim that the NPA and the police have made some progress in fighting crime in South Africa and corruption.
And look, Sandile, we're in the final IEC voter registration weekend, and we saw several communities that were staging protests or saying they will simply boycott the upcoming polls due to their belief that none of their issues since the previous votes have made any significant changes in their lives as well as communities. What do you think this points to as we head to the general polls?
No, this is an old problem, and there are scientific answers to this. Padidi Huda has come forward, the former statistician general, with a very detailed analysis that in actual fact, South Africa stopped making progress in 2011. And all the gains that have been made in delivering social services and public goods in South Africa have been reversed, so that we stopped making progress in 2011 and then we engaged reverse gear from 2011 up until now. So South Africa is going through what you would call a retrogression. The president of the ANC Youth League has said publicly that there have been reversals. In other words, the progress made until 2011 has been reversed. So, for instance, even in the field of education, especially post-matric education, the position of black people is worse in 2024 than what it was in 1994. As a proportion, if you take black people as a proportion of the black population versus white graduates as a proportion of the white population, we've actually become less skilled as black people.
We're going to leave it there. Thank you so much for your contribution. That is political analyst there, Mr. Sandile Swana, with a look ahead into the State of the Nation address that is coming this Sunday. So, as you've just heard, progression was last made about in 2011. So, a lot of time that the country has spent actually regressing and not gaining or working on those gains that were achieved before 2011.